Because we are microcosms of the macrocosm, the North Pole being the center of the Earth signifies that the divine light which pours out from this location is one and the same with our own heart essence, which has been buried behind illusion and delusion. Being the center of the toroidal field which encases our realm, the center of this earth, and thus the center of you, is the grand projector of all experience on this plane. What we have called the aura is really the electromagnetic field of the heart, and just like this illusory field stems from the center of us, this temporary projection from the heart space is nothing more than a divine orchestration leading us back to this center point, both within and without. The aura is created by the Aurora. Yes, and Sleeping Beauty's name is Aurora. She needs to wake up for the spell to be broken. This is the Emerald Heart of Tafiti being replaced, like in the movie Moana, which transforms scarcity back into abundance, transmuting a so-called dark condition back into a rejuvenative one. This is the Emerald Eye of the Jaguar, replaced in the newer Jumanji movie. This is the Holy Grail spoken of in Celtic myth, which exists at the center of the round table. It cures the mortal condition. Anyone who drinks from this chalice of immortality is instantly connected to all eternal life without the contrast of death. This projection maintains the net of magnetics. Yes, the magnetic field is nothing more than a giant net which is here to catch our inner dualistic aspects so we can observe them outside of us, and so those aspects can play out on autopilot until the center is completely opened, recalibrated, thus destroying the net of magnetics.
This purgatorial dream has been maintained through our inner duality, the good versus the evil, the righteous versus the damned. This contrast is the very consciousness which the net of magnetics has been catching. This is why a magnetic field has a positive and negative charge.
This reality we have found ourselves in is not an artificial simulation. It is a simulation of consciousness. If the heart isn't opened up, then what manifests? Well, an artificial reality to the true blueprint, which the heart is eternally connected to. This true blueprint is known by many names: the Garden of Eden, Shambhala, Hyperborea. And when we forfeit the abundant state, which manifests the inclusion of such a paradise in our perception, we find ourselves in a hyper-physical avatar. And that's where you reside right now. Now, all of this awakening that's been happening for years and years in regards to specific truths being revealed about this world, coexisting with truths about yourself that have been realized, all of it has been completely orchestrated, each present moment present in order to lead us to the next realization, to further open up the heart's space.
Layers and layers of paradoxes must be embraced, and the shackles of linearity cast off, if we are to make sense of the nonsensical. Everything has already happened. We're just off in a temporary dream that has been waiting to fuse into the original reality to cancel out the tension between the two and thus wake up from the illusion. This fusion is actually allowing us to seal separation consciousness and anything under the hat of suffering, sealing it into a void space. All moments are of this mind virus of separation. This is why the word moment contains mente, the Latin word for mind, and mo, which is om backwards, like home. So each moment is a piece of your mind you're walking through to get back home.
In order to end this illusion, we are being begged to tap into the authentic, warm-hearted, creative, regenerative, expansive, kind, fun-loving, and wise heart space. This is the 0 point.
Alchemy is the process of turning lead into gold, taking what's dark and not ignoring it, but transmuting it. Alchemy is simply another name for singularity, which is the merging of the above and below, of the positive and the negative. It is full integration within the heart space, which is macrocosmically the North Pole of this realm, the center. The realm itself, right now, is undergoing alchemy in the heart space, and thus individually also. This is an orchestration. After all, there is no separation between the function of this realm and the function of ourselves. However, the reason we cannot perceive this within our 5 senses is because of the veil of Maya. Scientifically, this is called the visible light spectrum within the full electromagnetic spectrum. The stories of the North Pole being a paradisal land of immense joy, wisdom, and ease, spoken of in the myths of Shambhala, the lands surrounding Mount Meru, Asgard, or Hyperborea. All of these stories are referring to an actual semi-ethereal, semi-physical location at the heart space. This is the abode of the gods, because the living souls, who are the archetypes of creation, are the very beings who are sleeping because of this existence in samsara. Eden is a state of immortality and full manifestation, because only dualism creates birth and death. Only dualism puts us in Maya. Without time, manifestation is instant. So, this has essentially been an experiment in a time virus, death virus, and good versus evil virus. We are disconnecting from the very fabric of duality, and therefore we are disconnecting from these temporary forms within time. Without playing these dualistic games of the checkerboard, we can only disconnect from these viruses. So this is not a cruel place. It has been a temporary prison, a temporary purgatorial ground designed to end. Dualism itself generates a binary consciousness that acts on autopilot, generating all of the inverted parts of our consciousness that we release within this purgatorial net. This is the only reason why everything has gotten so crazy and polarized in this world. Reality is stranger than fiction, and when we can step out of the third-dimensional perspective, we observe everything to be on autopilot. This is because we're surrounded by AI consciousness. However, this AI consciousness is not the result of an intruder force trying to oppress anybody or anything, but rather the schematic of good and evil itself has projected a consciousness which displays that inability to see things from wholeness. Hence, why the ones and zeros of the Matrix seem to be lifeless, knee-deep in programming, and unable to find a transcendent spark past the confines of religion and dual concepts. They come in all shades and sizes, just like those we project in our dreams. I've made this comparison before. In a dream, you project all of the beings and environments within that dream in order to flesh out your sub and unconscious during the night. The waking dream is very similar, but the illusion of time within matter makes everything seem to have independent continuity. But don't be fooled. Everything is simply a representation of what you're not. Robots operate by feeding them code and algorithms to work with. While many robots can seem autonomous and now even self-learning, ultimately they are attached to these algorithms. True intuition does not exist within a robot. This is the type of intelligence the soulless beings,
are displaying, one that automatically attaches to the energy extraction matrix's hive mind narratives. You have been exhibiting fear in this holding space. Yes, this is why you came here, to feel trapped in a reality that holds up this binary tension between good and evil, so you can cancel those out and return to a state of wholeness.
I've seen what I've seen all. I've seen the waterfalls, and we're drowning the thirst. Pill sucking it, oh, pill sucking it, oh, pill sucking it. Sitting on the table, sitting on the Holy Grail. You mix the demons and angels to erase the danger. Pill sucking